called to the booth. Coaches getting fired left and right. I got my no-fly zone team. Paul, drop that beat.
Back with more Call to the Booth. It's Super Wildcard Weekend. Harrison, Sanford, Aqib Talib right here on the Blue Wire Podcast Network. A bunch to discuss today. We got some playoff picks coming in. Aqib is going to award his no-fly zone for the 2021 season. But first, we got to start. And before we even get to the head coaches, man, there's so much going on. We have to go back to Sunday. Aqib in the booth. Week 18 in cold-ass Minnesota. Patrick Peterson does not have an interception going into the final week of the regular season. Lo and behold, Andy Dalton. Aqib, take us away, please.
Man, so we had the production meeting on like Thursday, right? And I asked Pat P 2, 3, 4 questions. The last thing I said was, all right, Pat P, man, get on the board this week, baby. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I know, right? I ain't never had no season with no interceptions. And I'm like, I know, man. Wooty wooty woo. He was like, man, well, Andy gonna throw me one, man. And when I get it, I'ma sign it. I'm gonna give it to Barry for his birthday, man. And lo and behold, Andy throws something up a little under pressure. Pat P snatch it, go to the crib with it. You know what I'm saying? And definitely gave the ball to Barry. Signed it up for him. Gave it to him after the game, man. Started my dog's birthday off right.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better like that. I'm sure you've had your share of fun in the booth this year, but that has to be, regardless of how long you do it, that's going to stand out as one of your top moments. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. How was the interactions after? Go ahead.
It was dope, man. It's just the booth all year, like you said, been a great time. And for the last one to be like that, Barry's birthday, they came up to the booth. Like during the game, they kind of got a shot of my fam and stuff of the game while they was in there. It was dope, man. So it was a great cap off to the year. And it was a great start. It was a great start to Barry's birthday.
Indeed. So can you take us behind the scenes? So he says he's going to give your son the ball. He intercepts the ball during the game. I'm sure you pull up on him in the locker room because you got to go get the ball now. Can you take us behind the scenes with that moment too?
Yeah, we went down the tunnel. So we went down the tunnel, and they locker room was right there. So we ain't going to the locker room and stuff. You know, it's all kind of protocols, COVID, all that crazy stuff now. So we waited outside the locker room. Security made sure we was good right outside the locker room and stuff. And we waited about 20 minutes. He got dressed, took a shower and stuff. Then he came out with the ball, just signed it up real quick. Tried to take a picture with Barry. Barry will not take a picture with Pat P. He was so funny. He act shy. He is the least shy person in the world. He was acting so shy though, man. But he will not take a picture. But Brill, my oldest son, he jumped in and took a picture with Pat P and all that, man. So it was a good vibe. Great time.
Great time, good vibes indeed. Even though, I must say, if you're a Minnesota Vikings fan, even though you won the game, you have to be disappointed by the coaching decision. Give Justin Jefferson the ball, only 7 targets, and so few yards away.
Zimmer,
was it 17?
Look, Zimmer.
Go ahead.
Zimmer, Kubiak, and Kurt. Like, man, it's on all 3 of them guys, man. Get him the ball, man. I mean, you on the 22-yard line, you draw up a crossing route, he come wide open. So I can't really say Koob. I can't really say Clint. Clint drew the play up. He came up wide open. You didn't throw him the ball right there. Boom. You threw it to Osborne. He scored a touchdown. Jefferson would have scored and had the record right there. But you get the ball for 2 more possessions after that. You run the ball. You throw it to him one more time like a bubble screen. He dropped it. You don't throw it to him no more. So, come on, man. 17 yards. You can get that in 1 catch. You can get that in 2 catches, 2 comebacks, a slant in the comeback. Just force it to him, man. Let him get that record, man. At least if I was the head coach, that's what I would have did. And that's why the team will vibe with me. And that's why I'll probably still have a job on Monday.
There we go. Speaking of head coaches, you might get called in for an interview now because of that. Mike Zimmer and Rick Spielman are out as the head coach and general manager for the Minnesota Vikings. Matt Nagy, Ryan Pace out in Chicago. Vic Fangio, as we discussed on our Broncos show, out too. Surprisingly enough, Brian Flores gone in Miami. Chris Greer, the GM, stays. We'll see how it all plays out. Aqib, give me your best jobs on the market.
Oh, best jobs on the market. I like the Broncos, man. I think that Broncos situation is set up. They got a nice little chunk of cap room to bring in a quarterback. Even you bring Teddy back, man. He $5 million, $4 million or something. He a nice backup. But you got the makeup, man. You got a nice, solid defense, solid O-line, a paid receiver group, young running backs. You know what I'm saying? You got the makeup to win games right now. All you need to do is bring in a quarterback. So I think that job is definitely attractive. The Minnesota job, you already got a quarterback, man. You come in, you got a guy like Kurt. Kurt is a second-tier quarterback to me. One of the quarterbacks who go to the playoffs. I got a couple wins in the playoffs. I ain't went ham in the playoffs yet. If you look at my stats, it look like I lead my team every year. My numbers go crazy. So you already got a starting quarterback if you get Minnesota. And they got some solid pieces in place as well. Thielen and Jefferson and Cook, they got some solid pieces. That young O-line, man, you got Brian O'Neill, the right tackle. He in year 4. He just finished year 4. He the oldest guy on the O-line. He the vet, you know what I'm saying? So they got a young O-line. You got some cash to I think I don't even know what their cap room look like. It might be bad, but, man, you already got a starting quarterback. That's going to be a problem. When you're a new coach, you had that quarterback problem. If you go to Minnesota, you don't have that problem. And then same thing with the Bears, man. The Bears got a bunch of cap room, a bunch of free agents, but they got Justin Fields. They got a nice little solid core of guys like Robert Quinn, Roquan Smith, who locked in. I like them 3 guys right there, man. Broncos, Vikings, Bears. I love those 3.
Yeah, if I was a head coaching candidate and I cared about security, I feel like I would go to the Chicago Bears first because they'll have a second-year quarterback. Vikings feels like you got to win right now because that team has lost so many small margin games by one possession. And then the Broncos gig seems great, but you don't know who the quarterback is. So
yeah, you're going to have something to do with bringing in your quarterback. So if you go to the Broncos, we got a lot of cap. You're going to have some input on who the quarterback going to be. So, I mean, how can you not like that?
No, I'll definitely – hey, listen, I'll take it. I'm just saying.
You know
Security is nice. Even though our friend and producer, Paul, who's going to join us here in a moment after we do the no-fly zone team, is probably not the biggest fan of Chicago right now in terms of the temperature. But that's another story for another day. All right, Aqib, you're one of the best DBs of all time, one of the best DBs in your generation. I think you're more than qualified to say who the best DBs are this season. Can you please give us your 2021 no-fly zone team, por favor?
2021 no-fly zone team. So for my starters, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to put these in no particular order. We just make this like a team. If I had a group of DBs starting for me, this is who I have out there, man. So I throw Trayvon Diggs on my left side. Let's just say my left side. That's going to be one of my starting corners. I'm going to throw J.C. Jackson on my other side outside. That's my other starting corner. I'm going to let Jalen Ramsey rock out in the middle for me. So I'm starting off in nickel. So all 3 of my corners are starting in the game. Jalen going to rock out in nickel. He was so dominant inside early in the season, man. I don't know. Rod kind of moved him around. He started matching him and doing other stuff with him. But he was dominant when he was inside at that nickel. I loved it. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely throw him inside and let him just be around all kind of plays. Let him play ball. My safeties. I'm going to throw Kevin Byard back there for sure. Got to throw Kevin Byard back there, man. He putting together another amazing season, going crazy. Jordan Poyer, he definitely on the no-fly zone, starting team, man. 5 picks this year. He a ball hawk. He always around that football. And then my other guy who gonna kind of match up with them tight ends and guard a little bit inside, Tyrann Mathieu, man. Let's get Honey Badger in there for sure. You know what I'm saying? Let him match up and do what he do inside, blitzing and play that box, how he play that box, and you know what I'm saying, create all that havoc. We got to get a pass rusher. They definitely part of the no-fly zone. Got to go T.J. Watt, man. He getting all kind of pressure, causing fumbles, lead the league in sacks, tied the sack record actually. So man, you know you got to come with us. You got 22 sacks, baby. We need you. You know what I'm saying? Our coordinator, man, we going to give it to Leslie Frazier. He had his best corner go down. Them guys ain't miss a beat, man. Teron Johnson, all those guys, man. Levi, Dane, all those boys, they stepped up, man. They playing ball, and it's a lot to do with how Leslie Frazier coached those guys, man. The schemes he put together, the blitzes he put together, man. He go crazy when it come to game planning for other teams. So D coordinator definitely Leslie Frazier. And we already said it, our Bradley Roby Award, our no-fly zone Rookie of the Year, Patrick Surtain, the second, baby. You know he put together a great year.
Great year. It's funny. We talked about head coaching candidates, and we didn't mention Leslie Frazier, who might very well. I know he's going to get interviewed this offseason. You have some honorable mentions here. I'll name them, and then I'll tell you one that I feel got snubbed. Darius Slay, who's had a great year for the Philadelphia Eagles. That secondary has been one of the stronger parts of their season. A great adjustment for him leaving Detroit, being with the Philadelphia Eagles. Matthew Stafford could say the same thing, being in LA, leaving the Lions. AJ Terrell, PFF has ranked him as their number one DB majority of the season. He's been great. That secondary in general has not, but he has. And you mentioned Teron Johnson. And you mentioned Teron Johnson. I will mention one guy who also changed teams. Casey Hayward has had a strong year for the Las Vegas Raiders. Just give me your thoughts about what you saw from him. Oh, some other honorable mention names as well. Stephon Gilmore. Didn't really talk about him as much this season.
Yeah, because he started late. He started late. But when he came in, though, oh, my God, it was like he never left. He had some crazy strap follow games and just real low-key because it's Carolina now, right? So you ain't going to hear his name as much. But he came back doing exactly what he always do, man. He came back strapping. Then Amani Oruwariye is how you say it, man. You gonna learn how to say it. You gonna know his name, boy. This boy like 6'2". Him and Jeff Okudah gonna be a nice little tandem in Detroit. Two nice size, great movement, ball hawking corners, man. Just, I always give you a little game, right? Watch out for them two boys in Detroit, I'm telling you.
Yeah, working with Aaron Glenn there in Detroit. Yeah,
but Casey Hayward, though. I mean,
Casey Hayward and Marshawn Lattimore.
And Lattimore, I love Marshawn.
They all can't make the list.
Everybody can't make the list, man. Come on, Trey had 11 picks. You on the list. You get 11 picks, I don't care. You on the list, right? JC had an 8-piece, man. He backdoored a 10-piece last year with an 8-piece. How can I not put him on the list, right? And then Jalen was the best corner in the league this year. He did everything, you know what I'm saying? He strapped one-on-one. He played the slot. He was the best corner in the league, in my opinion. He shut people down, man. So it's tough. I got to figure it out. Then them other guys, man, I just like, they made a bunch of plays. But, Lattimore and Casey definitely could have been on there as well.
Definitely. Good seasons for them overall. If you're coming in this league, you trying to be a top DB, you got some stiff competition. They outside.
Yes, sir.
Got to talk about the playoffs happening this weekend. But before we do that, Aqib, there's a team that did not make the playoffs. And you said it on Sunday on your Twitter account. Staley smoked it. Chargers did not make the playoffs, avoided the tie, avoided getting a win. Give me your thoughts now that there's been some days about what Brandon Staley pulled off or what he didn't pull off this past weekend.
Well, in my eyes, I kind of seen the game. They got to a point where it was like, all right, this field goal maybe be like 45 yards. Maybe if we get one more run, it may be like a 42-yard, 40-yard field goal. Do we even want to kick that field goal? Do we even want to try that, risk that return to the crib, risk the block? And then the Raiders kind of, you see their tempo change, right? Their tempo just kind of went like, all right, we're just going to run the ball. We're just going to run the clock out. I think they would have run the ball one more time. Even if they would have got 4 or 5 yards, they would have still they wouldn't have kicked it. I don't think they would have called timeout to kick a field goal and try to win it. They would have run the ball. If y'all ain't called timeout, they would have let the clock run out, and it would have been a tie. We going to the playoffs, right? I think it was over. Staley called the timeout, and to me, it was kind of like a nah. It was kind of like a slap in the face, like nah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we finna try to win. If y'all ain't trying to win, we trying to win. So it was like, all right, call my best run play, got 10 yards, and now we gonna call timeout and kick it. Like, that was not on the Raiders' mind until Staley called that timeout. So he wanted to be extra competitive like he is. You go for it on every fourth down. You want to be extra competitive, right? You know what I'm saying? That's analytic ball. You know what I'm saying? Real football would have had you in the playoffs today, had you at work today. So, hey, there you go for the analytics out there. That's what Staley did, the analytic way. See what it got you.
It is, as a fan of just football in general, it is unfortunate to not see Justin Herbert in the playoffs. He absolutely balled in that game and throughout the course of the season. Real quick before we get to the playoff picks, most disappointing non-playoff team. I assume the Colts, Browns are up there.
Yeah, definitely the Browns for the amount of talent they have on their team, and they just couldn't find a way to get it together, right? Everybody dealt with COVID. Everybody dealt with injuries. The Browns just couldn't find a way to get it together. Definitely, probably the number one disappointing. But as the season went on and you saw this hot team emerging as the sleeper, and they might get to win a division, and they just not make the playoffs. Oh, the Colts, they by far my number one pick for most disappointing team. It is the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, a terrible way to end the season. All right, we got about 2 minutes here. Let's try and get through these playoff picks. We'll do it real quick. Raiders +6 at the Bengals.
I'm going Bengals -6.
49.5 over under.
I'm changing that. I'm going Raiders +6, and I'm going over 49.5.
Should be a big-time game. Darren Waller back in the lineup. All right, Patriots +4 at the Bills. 43 over under.
Under 43 is going to be a teen to 20 game again. And I'm riding with the Patriots +4, man. Bill's saving his game plan for these boys. He's saving his nice game plan he's going to put together, and I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, can't bet. I mean, that's too close of a margin. Too many points, actually.
Yeah, I'm taking that. I'm taking that all day.
Got to take that. Now, how about this, though? Do you take the Eagles +8.5 against the Bucs? You know the Eagles going to run out the ball. 49 over under seems a bit high, in my opinion.
Yeah, 49 seems high to me, but the Bucs, Tom could drop 35 easy, in my opinion. I'm riding with the Bucs. I'm never betting against the Bucs until they out the tournament. Bucs -8.5. Over 49. I give the Eagles 18 points, 18 to 40 something, 30 something, 18 to 33 or something like that. So I'm riding with the Bucs and the over.
Legacy matchup: 49ers +3 at Dallas. 50.5 over. This is the popcorn matchup right here.
Man, it is, and I'm dropping the bag. I'm probably gonna take my jits and my nephews. We probably gonna pull up on this one, man. We got to right here in the D. But I'm going with them boys -3, baby, and they're going to light up this scoreboard. I'm going with the over.
There we go. That secondary for the 49ers is the one weakness if you could stop them from the pass rush. All right, Steelers +13 at Kansas City, 46.5 over under. We don't know the stats of Tyreek Hill. Wasn't on the field too much their last game.
I'm gonna go Steelers +13. I think the Chiefs gonna win a game, but I think they're gonna win it by like 10. It'll be like a 31-21 type of game. Pittsburgh just built like that, man. That's a Mike Tomlin team, so they're going to come put their best foot forward. They're going to compete like hell.
Cardinals +4 at the Rams, 50 over under.
Ooh, this another popcorn for me. I love Paul rolled clips. I've been talking about them Cardinals. I got to ride with the Rams, though. Rams -4 at the house, and we going over that 50.
Yeah, I wonder how Arizona Cardinals fans will travel. We saw what happened with the 49ers taking over SoFi Stadium this past weekend. All right, those were Aqib's bets going into Super Wild Card Weekend. And if you watched last week, Aqib did get that Chiefs betting matchup right when it comes to the 10 points against the Kansas City Chiefs. Come back next week. We'll break down what happened, and we'll look ahead to the divisional round. This is Call to the Booth.